How's it going, Kittanning? Good to see you guys again. If you're watching the replay, it normally takes a minute or two to get people on here, so don't be too concerned if it takes just a minute. But just wanted to thank you guys for being here again tonight. I'm slightly distracted because the Vikings are playing the Packers tonight. That's like our biggest rivalry, and so that's my team is the Minnesota Vikings. I'm not a huge Steelers fan. I saw they got beat today at Denver. That's never good. And yeah, big Viking game tonight, and got a couple things to talk to you about, and then hopefully we'll have a good discussion. If you guys have any questions or you want to talk about anything, feel free to put that stuff in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer anything that you've got. It takes me just a minute to get the comments up here as well. I have to go live on Facebook real quick to let everyone know that we have started. And then, we'll just get it going. So how are you guys today? How was your Sunday? Anything interesting happened to you? Just curious about your lives as well. Hopefully this is an opportunity for me to get to know you, for you to get to know me, and then we can just build relationship over time. I think that's really important. Not only for the city of Kittanning, for people just to have more conversations with each other, but also just in life in general. We should all have genuine relationships with other people. It's so important. Let's see. My computer's being a little slow here. I noticed that if I try to watch TV and be on the internet at the same time, like my Comcast doesn't work well. So be patient with me tonight. So it says the stream status is bad. I don't know if that's true or not. Let me know if you guys can see me okay, if the clarity's all right, or if it needs to be reset. If you can just leave a comment for me, that'd be wonderful. If I have to turn off the game, I guess I could. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so one person can see and hear. That's good. All right, very good. Let me just see if it's improving at all. Oh, now it says good, so that's good. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Bear with me, I'm just going to go live on Facebook real quick, and then we'll get started. Hey, Kittanning, as usual, we are over on the YouTube channel. You can search my name, Andrew Ladisaw, on YouTube, and you can come over and join the conversation tonight. We're just hanging out watching Sunday Night Football here, Vikings versus Packers, and also have a couple things to talk to you about. So come on over, join us, have a good time for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, and we'll just enjoy our time together. God bless you guys. See you over on the live stream. All right, so I think we're good to go. So let me know who's in the house tonight. I only got 5 people on here so far. That's totally fine. I'll hang out with however many we got. And if it's a short night, that's okay with me too. That's kind of what I want to talk about. So, I don't even know how to say your name. Smellabellin? Is that how you say it? TV is first in the house tonight. So, it's Ava. Okay. Did you change your name again, Ava? You just continue to change your name like every single week? What's up with that? Mr. Waffle, my dad is in bed. He's really tired, so I don't know if he'll be on. Yeah, I know he had to leave church today too. He was in rough shape, I guess. So I hope that he's doing okay. I just wanted to make sure everyone knows. Please pray for Kevin. Kevin is I don't know. He's just one of my favorite people in the whole world. So please pray for Kevin. He's going through a little bit of a switch in medication, and it's hitting him pretty hard right now. So he could use our prayers, I'm sure. Jonathan says, "Good evening, Andrew. Saw you at Light Up Night. Meant to introduce myself in person, but you were too quick for me to catch." Yeah, Light Up Night was just crazy. I didn't even get to see half of Light Up Night, honestly. And I was really busy trying to set everything up, make sure everybody got into the right spots. And then we also were setting up the Journey to Bethlehem. And then we had a lot of hiccups with Journey to Bethlehem. There were some kids that were setting off fireworks. And so that was really messing up the ponies. The ponies were very, very scared of what sounded like gunfire, and so that was not helpful at all. And then we just had some issues with the flow. But I think by the end of the night, it felt like we really had it figured out. We had groups going around and that kind of stuff. But you know, next year will be a lot smoother. So looking forward to that, doing that again. And people from our church, like Mark Crosby, Brad, Kevin as well, did an amazing job. And then we had people from Harvest Community Church that built the sets. They looked so awesome. They did such a great job. And then volunteers from First Baptist and the Church of Christ, and I think that's it. We just had a few different churches come together, and it was really really fun. So had a great time there. My kids were cold and hungry and all that kind of stuff, and my wife likewise, I think. So overall, Light Up Night will hopefully get easier as the kids get older, and as my responsibility becomes less and less as part of that night. So very fun, very fun. But yeah, I wish you would have introduced yourself. Hopefully, we'll get that another opportunity. I don't know where do you live? Are you in a different? Are you from Kittanning? Jonathan? I don't even know. So let me know. Ava's in the house. Mr. Waffle says, yeah. Kelly's in the house. So we got like half the people on the stream tonight are Myers people. So but that's okay. That's cool. I like the Myers family. Big fans. Big fans. So yeah, the Vikings are down 14-7. So that's not good. I actually just put on Twitter. I don't know if you guys are following me on Twitter, but we have the Vikings are 5-4-1. Okay, they have a tie, 5 wins and 4 losses. When I've watched this year, every game that I've watched, they are 0 wins, 3 losses, and a tie. And when I don't watch, they're 5-1. So they're one of the best teams in football when I don't watch, and they're the worst team in football when I do. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but I'm hoping that tonight they'll figure it out for me. Anyways, so just been going through, and you guys might have noticed had a couple videos this week, and they were both actually videos that I filmed last week. I didn't film a single video this week, which felt really weird. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that my sleep has been so out of whack. I really just need to rest more this week. I've been preaching the last 4 weeks in a row, and that always takes a lot out of me, and it ends up where I stay up too late preparing, and then it throws off my sleep for the next day, and then I end up staying up late again, and then I end up drinking more coffee, which ends up screwing up everything. And so I've just been kind of in that cycle and trying to get myself more equalized. Last night was not any better than nights before, but I'm thinking this week now I'll be more free. I've been working on writing a script and getting some of the shots ready for a video about Typewriter Hill, and so I'm very excited about that. Video should be up within the next 2 days. So we'll have that going, and then I'm going to get back into some daily vlogging and doing that kind of stuff, because I really want to get back into a flow as far as that goes. And I won't be preaching now, as far as I know, until Christmas Eve, or that Christmas Eve weekend. So that frees up a lot of my time, and it allows me just to do different things. Not that it frees up my time. Preparing the sermon doesn't take me all that long anymore, but it's just like my headspace. And I don't know if you guys ever experienced that. I know a lot of you are in school and those kinds of things, but when you're just kind of distracted from being able to do the things that you want to do, like something won't leave your mind and you just continue to worry and be anxious about it and all those kinds of things. And I used to struggle with that even more so when I was first starting to preach. I had some real problems with anxiety and being terrified of speaking in public. And so those things have really dissipated. But for the most part, when I preach, I take it very, very seriously that I'm going to be speaking about God's word. And so I don't want to screw that up. I just want to be faithful to what the Bible says. And I want to just continue to honor God in everything that I do. And so when I'm preaching for the week, even though I'm not actively doing sermon preparation, it just continues to just weigh on me all the time. It's almost never a moment that I'm not thinking about it. And so it's more difficult to make videos and do all those kinds of things because I don't feel like I'm my best. So that's one part of it. And then the other part is like not thinking that your best is like this head game, where I don't have to be my best. I can just make a video that is just okay. And I think that those a lot of times are actually more valuable for people because a lot of times they end up being more real. And so it's just kind of like wherever you're at, just continue to kind of take the next step forward. Don't worry about being perfect. Just worry about doing the next thing. And so whether you're in high school and you're just overwhelmed by assignments, just do the next one. Get out the next paper. Do the next thing. Write the next paragraph. Do whatever you got to do to like move a little bit forward today. And that's where I've been at. So this week I've just been kind of trying to reset myself. Obviously with Thanksgiving, I have family in town. There's just a lot of different things going on, and so it's just been a little bit crazy. But that's why no videos this week that are recent. I know there were 2 new videos out, which is just on the lower end of what I would normally do. But it looks like this week we're going to have the podcast starting back up. I have a couple different people, so we should have the podcast going again this week, which I'm very excited about. And then back to some more daily kind of vlog stuff, which I'm also excited about. So that's kind of where I've been at, just trying to find that balance. And it's not a work-life balance; it's a work, church, family, YouTube life balance. It's like a bunch of different people, all that kind of stuff. So a couple more comments here. Jonathan's from Templeton. Close enough to Kittanning. Yes, you're right. It is. Templeton, I don't even know. They should just be swallowed up by Kittanning. We should just make it one town and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Templeton's an interesting place. I really believe in the future of Templeton as well. When this trail thing happens, when they connect the trail finally from Pittsburgh up to Erie, excuse me, when that finally happens, Templeton has the potential to be a really, really cool tourist town. There's enough neat stuff down there, and there's so much beauty in the river, and you have obviously the trail. You guys have an opportunity to kind of create a tourist atmosphere, almost like Confluence has on the Great Allegheny Passage Trail. So just interesting time to be alive in Templeton. If you have a house on the river, you should really be looking at what that would look like as a bed and breakfast, or if you could pick up a commercial building downtown for really cheap now. I think it would be worth it to do that. Just my thoughts on Templeton. I feel like the same thing for Kittanning. Kittanning I think is going to be the hub of tourism for Armstrong County, and should be the hub of tourism on the whole Erie to Pittsburgh Trail if they take advantage of it. If people will come and invest the way that it should be invested in. We should be Foxburg on a whole different level. That's one man's opinion, though. So yeah, I like Templeton. Love the drive there too. The beauty of that when you're coming down the hill into Templeton, stunning stuff. First time I drove that, it was just it's almost like coming down the hill into Kittanning, same kind of feeling, or coming through the tunnels into Pittsburgh, same feeling for me. Although I wouldn't want to live in Templeton in the winter. That's a tough drive every day if you got to drive to Pittsburgh or something. Smelly. I'm just going to call you Smelly, Ava. I hate football, she says. Sorry to hear that. I'm not a huge fan of football anymore either, just because of the commercials. It's very difficult for me to watch now. And my kids, the first time we watched football, they were really upset because the commercials came on and they had never seen a commercial in their entire lives. So they thought that I changed the channel and they were really mad at me because all they've ever watched their whole life would be Netflix and PBS Kids, both apps on the phone with no commercials at all. So I still think that's interesting. The next generation is not gonna put up with commercials whatsoever. Kelly, is your dad here? He is not. Your dad is not here. I wish he was, though. 3D Maker Kid's in the house. Good to have you, 3D Maker. What's up, Andrew? hopefully you've heard what's up by now. This is what's up. Let's see here. Mr. Waffle. I was thinking we could make a website on Wix and sell the shirts of Living Water and like mugs and all that. And yeah, it's a great idea. I've actually been toying around with having a andrewladisaw.com. We already have a mylivingwaterchurch.com, so if we wanted to sell shirts and stuff on there, we certainly could. Um, Especially like summer serve shirts. Those are something that I think would actually sell, and it would be for people to kind of go on and get their own, so that they could come and participate in summer serve and have the whole shirt thing going on. But I've also worked on some Kittanning Greatest City in the World shirts, and still working on that. I'm not completely happy with what I have, and so I'm still continuing to work on that. But I'm thinking about having my own website. The problem with having a website to actually sell things is to have any kind of e-commerce website is pretty expensive. You're talking like $30 a month to host it, I think, was the cheapest ones that I found. And so you're talking, you got to sell a lot of t-shirts over the course of a given year to make that up. And so if I was confident I could sell, 100 shirts a year or something, then it's definitely worth it. I'm just not super confident that that would be the case. But maybe someday it will be, or maybe I just need to do it and try it and see what happens. But I still really want to get a drone, and I really don't want to pay for it. So, so I'd love to raise money through selling t-shirts. I guess I could just do it through Facebook or something and still do it. But anyways. But yeah, great idea. We should really do that, Jake. Do you know how to do website design? If you do, I would totally be happy to have your help. I can give you my password on, geez, what is it? WordPress, the one that I was kind of playing around with. I did play around with Wix as well. I was okay with it, but it seemed like Wix was, I couldn't do as much as I wanted to do. So, but if you know how to do that, let me know. I'd be happy to partner with you in it. Dustin says, hey buddy, I'm at home with the flu, really bad, but wanted to stop in and say hi, going back to bed, but wanted to say, go Pack Go. Come on, man. Go Pack Go. Really? Really? I'll forgive you. The Cowboys are looking pretty good, man. First place in the East now. 3D Maker's gonna pray for you, Dustin. I'll pray as well. Jonathan's also praying for you. Man, you guys are great. You know the drill at this point. Smelly is a gymnast, so that's good. Glad you're a gymnast. There are 9 people and 3 likes. Now there's 12 people and 4 likes, so we've improved in people and improved in likes slightly, but 8 of you are not doing what's appropriate, which is to hit that like button. Maybe share this on your social media or something. We need like 20 people in here. That's what we normally peak out at about 20 people. So, Doc Creed is in the house. Doc is new to the channel. He says, how long have you been a pastor? And so I have been a pastor now for a little over 4 years. Our church just had a 5-year anniversary. And so the first year of our church, we had it with Pastor Fred. And I was more of an administrative pastor at that point. And then I stepped in to be the lead pastor after Pastor Fred left to go to Butler to plant another church. And so very, very fun times. I'm not like a paid pastor at all. I'm a completely volunteer pastor. Like everyone else at our church is completely volunteer. And yeah, it's really been a blessing though. It's one of my favorite things. And it's, I think, the primary way that we've been able to have an impact in Kittanning. And so a lot of what I talk about on YouTube flows out of the things that we do in the church. When you look at Summer of Serve and just a lot of the even sermon material, I make a lot of those things into YouTube videos because I think those principles are universal, whether you're Christian actively or whether you're just a person who doesn't believe in God or whatever. I think all the principles of the Bible still apply, and so I'll still make videos about that kind of stuff. And we've seen people have genuine change through the YouTube channel, and I'm just really excited about it. So that's how long I've been a pastor, but I've never been to seminary, never did any of that kind of stuff. I did just things through our denomination to become a minister, so I can perform weddings and funerals and all that kind of stuff. And then I also preach about 30 plus times a year. So anyway. Jonathan says, I actually do drive from Templeton to almost Monroeville for work Not the best drive. Yeah, that's a brutal one, man. I don't know how well they take care of that river road, but my guess is not as well as they should. Just a guess. 3D Maker says, I had the privilege of worshiping with the Apollo Methodist Church. Great people and great service. Very cool. I feel like I know a couple people at the Apollo Methodist Church, or maybe they're in Leechburg. Is there a Leechburg Methodist Church as well? I'm assuming there is. Every single city has a Methodist church. At one point, the Methodist Church were like the Pentecostal church. They were going very actively seeking to put a church in every single town. They would just go town to town and plant another church. And at one point, the Methodists were also the itinerant preachers in the country, and so they were circuit riders, and so you'd have one preacher, but he would go to 20 different towns on what was then the western half of the United States. And so, since there were no churches there and nothing was set up, these Methodist preachers would go around from town to town. They'd take care of like 20 towns and just go around preaching constantly, and it was really really cool. They were really evangelistic, and so they were also the ones that put on a lot of the old revivals, like tent revivals, all that kind of stuff. And they were just really really a church on fire. Now, over the past several years, the Methodist Church has it's been a little bit different. It's become a lot more politicky and not as much about getting people into the kingdom of God. But that being said, a lot of respect for the Methodist Church. My grandma actually still goes to a Methodist church. If I were in Minnesota, I'd probably be going to a Methodist church. But yeah, very cool. Anyway, it's probably more than you wanted to know about Methodism, but got a lot of respect for John Wesley and the Methodist Church in general. Mr. Waffle said, I did it to Tyler's. He wanted a website to give his shirts away, and I did it for him. It took 3 hours. Okay. I don't know what website that is. Can you link that, Chris, or goodness, Jake? Can you link that on here? I would be really interested to go and see your website work and see if we can maybe work together. I think that'd be cool. 3D Maker says, so now 25% of people have hit the like button. Before it was 33%. Yeah, it got worse, didn't it? Oh, now we're up to 6. We're up to 6 likes. Everyone else hit like. We need 8 more people. Kelly's in the house. Good to have you. 3D Maker says they still do that. Yeah, they kind of do it now, but now it's out of necessity and not out of well, I guess then it was out of necessity as well. Now they're just short on preachers. And the churches, a lot of them are dwindling, and so they can't really pick up enough preachers. So now they're just sharing multiple churches for one preacher. So it's a hard one. 3D Maker says, I'm always shocked at how little difference there is between kinds of churches. Yeah, and we make it up to be a really big deal, but you're right. So many times there are just really small differences between denominations. It's amazing how these things split over time. And you look at like the Lutheran and Catholic Church, a lot of them, that was considered like this huge split. But if you went to a Lutheran church and a Catholic church today, you wouldn't see all that much difference. Now, you definitely see a difference between like the Lutheran church in town and our church in style of worship and formality, all those kinds of things, because we're like super, super laid back. But you wouldn't see a whole lot of difference, you're right, between a lot of the different denominations. There's differences in theology and those kinds of things, but for the most part, we're way more alike than we are different, and so we should be getting along a lot better than we do. Let's see. Doc Creed says, that's awesome. I've enjoyed watching the Summer of Serve videos. Thank you, Doc. I'm glad you enjoy watching them. Those are some of the most fun ones to make. That's actually how I got started making videos, is I had well, actually, that's not true. So the very first videos that I made were about our church. We were doing the Daniel fast, and so I made videos about doing the Daniel fast with my kids, and it was super fun. That got me kind of hooked on making YouTube videos. I had made videos in high school, and it kind of like allowed me to scratch that itch creatively. Really enjoyed that. And then the following summer, I made our first round of Summer of Serve videos for the church. which you can't even find on my channel. They're actually on the church's channel. I wish I could move them over, but I can't. And now, and then last year I started Kittanning Greatest City in the World vlog. Just celebrated the 1 year anniversary 10 days ago. And so that's kind of the history of me making YouTube videos. But Summer Serve are kind of always the ones that are the most fun for me to make, because you're seeing like really tangible change in the city from the beginning of the video to the end, and it's always like a really nice story. I think that's what makes a great YouTube video, is a story. So you have like the first act is like the setup, and then there's a conflict in the middle, and then you have a resolution. And so we always have in the Summer Serve videos, it's like, hey, here's what we're going to do today. Here's what we did and the challenges that we had to overcome to do it. And then here's the conclusion. And it's always like this really nice 3-act narrative. And so that's what I strive for in every video. But the Summer Serve videos, it happens every single time. And so I really like that. Plus, they tell a great story over the course of an entire summer. Like, if you go back and watch all the work that was done in one summer, it's like, wow, the people that came out really made a huge difference in our city. And so it's really awesome. So since I last talked to you, the Vikings scored a touchdown and then just missed a field goal to take the lead. And so that's no good. The Vikings have the worst kickers in football over the last probably, 10 years. They're just terrible. They're so bad. 3D Maker says, oh dang, can't do that one in my head. Yeah, 6 into 14. Someone get out the calculator and make that one happen. I don't think I can do that in my head either. 3 over 7. 3 over 7. Wix.com. Yes. I meant the final website for Tyler, if you made one. Jake, if you have like his actual, like, is it Tyler with the vlog.com or something like that? That's what I'm looking for. I know about Wix.com. Swan is late this evening, but glad to see I'm still first. You always thinking you're first. Not quite this evening, but glad that you're here. True stories. If you watch documentaries, what is the most influential one that has affected your spiritual life the most? Okay. That's a great question. So, documentary, the one that I was actually referring to, where I learned about Methodism and about, it was called God in America. I think it's a 6-part documentary that was done actually by PBS. And they did just a really fantastic job on it, especially in the early episodes where they were talking about kind of old line denominations in our nation and kind of how those things were formed. That's a really, really amazing documentary. A lot of the other stuff that kind of formed my faith would be, just sermons that I've listened to. If you guys know about Paul Washer is probably the most amazing preacher that I've ever heard. The way he approaches the gospel is just absolutely stunning. And so if you ever look at Heart Cry Missionary Society is his website, and go on there, look under sermons, and then if you look up the True Gospel series in Hannibal, Missouri, listening to those sermons probably did more for my spiritual life than just about anything else that I could possibly imagine. And so yeah, check out God in America and check out Paul Washer. That's the 2 things that kind of come right off the top of my head. But if you have any other things that I should be looking at, please let me know. I'll be happy to do that. Let's see. 3D Maker Kid says, I see a massive difference between Catholicism and Presbyterians. Yeah. I mean, you're going to definitely see differences for sure. No doubt. Brian Armitage is in the house. Brian, I missed you again today. Missing you, man. I wish I could see you all the time. Another one of my favorite people in the city. Brian, thank you for driving the float, all those kinds of things. I think I told you that last week, but thank you again, man. That was just huge for us. It took a big load off my shoulders. True Story says, doesn't matter what denomination or religion you are, so long as you are born again by the blood of Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Once that happens, we are united as one people under the one true God. Man, just truer things have never been told. That's where it's at. If you've been born again, you're good by me. Doesn't matter what denomination. I know people in the Catholic Church that are being born again, that are filled with the Holy Spirit, and so, love them just as much as anyone else at my church. 100%. 3D Maker Kid says amen. I second that. True Story says God in America documentary is great. Yes, absolutely. You're gonna have to get that from him because okay, I see. I'll get that from Tyler. That's cool. True Story says Paul Washer is amazing. Totally agree. Go check him out seriously, and so, think about supporting his missionary society. They're doing really, really good work all over the world. Heart Cry Missionary Society. Go check out that sermon from Hannibal, Missouri, the True Gospel series. It will rock your socks off. It's amazing, amazing stuff. Each sermon is probably between 60 minutes and 90 minutes, so you gotta take some time. And there's 6 of them, but no better way to spend your time. Seriously, no better way to spend your time. I would, yeah. I'm not. I'm just. There's just do it. Just go watch them or listen to them. Louie's in the house, all the way from the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois. Welcome to the live stream, Louie. I cannot wait for you to come to Kittanning. Rumor has it that you're coming like a week from today. Is that accurate? And if you are going to be in Kittanning, like I need to meet you. I just need to meet you. 3D Maker is going to be happy. We now have 7 likes and 14 people watching, so that's a solid 50%. I can do that one, 3D Maker. Louis is instructing you to please thumbs up. I second that, Louis. Is it Louis or Lewis? I don't even know. Am I saying it right? Lewis says it's snowing like crazy outside. 10 inches coming. Me and my lady are coming the 1st to the 5th. We're at 50% now. I'm looking at the radar. Is that snow coming our way? Does anybody know? I thought we were supposed to have good weather now for a while. I hope that goes north because I really don't want I really don't want 10 inches. Oh wow, you guys are getting hammered. Look at this radar. That big blue splotch is Chicago. You guys are getting worked over. That's crazy. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be rain here. It's going north, so that's cool. True Story says... Oh, sorry. Lou says... My legal name is Lewis. I go by Lou or Louie, all of the above. Okay, good. You're my kind of guy, so I can call you whatever and we'll still be right. It's true for me as well. You can, Andy, Andrew, all that kind of stuff. I always tell people I've been called a lot worse than that, so I'm happy to be called anything close to my real name. True Story says, do you like art? What's your favorite art picture? Do you ever go to Pittsburgh and see art at the galleries? Favorite artist? Yeah. So I don't have a favorite artist per se. No one that comes off the top of my head. When you're talking about art, I'm assuming you're talking about like physical, tangible art as far as paintings or sculpture or something like that. I really enjoy art. I love going to the art museum. My kids aren't old enough to really make it fun to go with them yet. But my wife and I went a couple times, and I just so enjoy that. And we have a great art museum in Pittsburgh, the Museum of Modern Art down there, or it's not modern art, is it? It's just the art museum, Carnegie Museum of Art, I think it is, and it's really great. I also have a membership there, and which means I have a membership to the Warhol Museum, and I've never been there yet, but I'd really like to go. Not because I'm a huge Warhol fan, but because art just fascinates me in general. I even like looking at art that is not at all Christian because I think artists have this ability to kind of take the human condition and express it in a tangible way that other people can then feel or express what they truly feel inside for the first time. And I think even for a Christian to go look at art that's not explicitly Christian, to go and just feel the pain that the world feels, or to feel the emptiness that the world feels, or whatever it might be, or to feel the effects of drugs, or to feel the effects of whatever it might be, sex, anything that could be affecting a person, to go and actually just experience that through someone else's eyes, I think is incredibly valuable. as long as you can go in with a Christian worldview and not be kind of overtaken by it, I think art is just such a valuable thing to get into and study. That being said, my favorite art is actually on my wall, which is interesting enough. The original of this painting is in New York at, I think it might be the Museum of Modern Art. Or what? There's another big art museum. Well, there's several in New York, but there's a really big one there, and the uh, the painting is right up here. It's actually called the Camp Meeting. Why don't I actually? I'll give you a little close up of it. It's called the Camp Meeting. It's from God in America, and I expressed how much I loved it. And my mom actually had it professionally made for me from some Chinese company, and yeah, so this is it. And so what I love about this painting is they were telling a story in the God in America series when this painting popped on the screen. And the story was about a man. He was actually going to a camp meeting for the first time. He had never experienced knowing God before. And at the camp meeting, he said this statement, or he wrote this statement after he got home, after he was saved there and got baptized there. He said that something along the lines of that I felt a joy so strong in my life that I felt that I might die. And so that's kind of was when I got saved, when I first met God, that was one of the feelings that I felt. And so when I heard someone else express it through words and then I saw the painting at the same time, that just became my favorite painting of all time. Because every time that I look at it, I think of that quote and I go back and remember my own salvation, my own relationship with God, and just like the joy that overflowed so like strongly inside that I just felt like my heart was going to explode with joy. And so that's my favorite painting. I don't have a favorite artist in general. I just love art because I want to understand people, and I think when we understand people, we can more relate to them, we can more empathize with them, and we can then have a better chance of giving them a gospel in a way that they're going to understand and recognize the value of it. Gosh, that was a long answer, so sorry about that. Hopefully, it was at least valuable in some way to you. Lou says, our weather tends to hit you the next day, but if it's warmer by you, it will just be rain. Yeah, and it's definitely warmer. It was just beautiful today, wasn't it, you guys? It was sunny. It was like 50 degrees. Got some work done in the garden again, and just good stuff all around. Kevin calls you Void. Yes, I did know that. And so that's who you are on Discord as well. So I know you by Void. 3D Maker says, yes, don't have one. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying here. Oh, you're talking back to True Story. Yes, don't have one. What is Pitt Penn State rules? King favorite artist is Adam Savage. Okay. I don't know Adam. Oh, I guess I do know Adam Savage. Lou says, Chicago has a lot of great things and places and food, but not enough to outweigh the terrible moving ASAP, but Chicago has a lot of great museums. Yeah, Chicago is kind of a cool city, I have to admit, but yeah, incredibly dangerous city. It seems like it's like the murder capital of the United States or something like that. But would love to have you in Kittanning, by the way. Come on out. Doc says, I've been to Pennsylvania twice, Amish country, and then the capital. I saw such diverse geography, farms to mountainous coal towns, but I have no idea where Kittanning is. Okay, so Doc, where are you from? Here, I thought you were from Kittanning the whole time. So, Kittanning is about an hour north of Pittsburgh. We are near the Allegheny Mountains, and so we're kind of like one of those in-between areas. We're right, the city's located right on the Allegheny River, and we're maybe 45 minutes to an hour from the nearest range of the Allegheny Mountains. So, or I guess it's the Appalachian Mountain System, but yeah. So that's where we are. Hopefully that helps. Love Kittanning though. You're an hour from complete wilderness, and you're an hour from the big city. Swan says, love the art question. My own favorite artist is John Singer Sargent. I'm going to have to look that up. See, I'm learning some stuff now. I need to go and get some learning in me for some art. True Story says, your whole family has biblical names. Was that purposeful or just by chance? That was absolutely purposeful. My wife and I, there's enough names out there, especially in the Bible, that you really don't need to go outside of it to look for names. Although we were running out of girl names that we liked. Yeah, they're all biblical. They were all chosen directly from the Bible. Mostly we just chose people that, we chose names that we liked, and as long as it was a person that had an okay name. Like I told my wife, hey, if we have a fourth girl, I'm naming her Jezebel. But so luckily we got Malachi. But yes, all the names were chosen from the Bible, very purposefully. 3D Maker Kid says, do you backpack, Andrew? I mean, I backpack every day. I'm always backpacking. But if you mean, do I backpack and hike? I really enjoy it. My wife and I, we used to hike all the time, but now I haven't in quite some time, at least for any distance. Excuse me. My wife and I did hike on our anniversary a little bit in Cook's Forest, so that was really fun. And then my kids and I hiked a little bit in Maryland, so they're starting to get the itch. They really like to go. They just don't have the stamina to really do a huge hike, but it won't be long, and they'll be outrunning me, no problem. So my hiking days will be coming back in the future. From Birmingham, Alabama. Oh, Doc, were you the one that made the comment that I was the male Leslie Knope? If that's you, I just gotta thank you for that comment. It's just like the best comment ever. I posted on my Facebook and in this group called No Small Creator, and everyone got a huge kick out of that. And I had people say, yeah, I can kind of see that. Let's see. Lou says, the most murder, to be honest, is on the south side and is 95% gang related. I live in the northwest suburbs, very nice area, beautiful, but so dang expensive, it's crazy. Illinois has the worst taxes of the entire USA, hands down. And yeah, I've heard that for sure. And I did know it was mostly gang activity. That was part of the murders on the south side. Just kind of breaks my heart, honestly. But yeah. Well, hopefully you can come here. Hopefully you enjoy your time here. It'd be really cool. Tammy says, do you know any more about the Church of God being sold? I don't know any more, Tammy, other than the fact that there is a meeting coming up, I believe on the 29th. There's an open public meeting. And so if you want to go voice your opinion on that, you're more than welcome. Gosh, I just keep yawning tonight. Sorry, guys. I had too much coffee this morning, probably. Wow. Sorry, there's this amazing, what looks like a catch on the game here. Gosh, I think he caught that. That's amazing. So anyways, the potluck, or sorry, the Church of God being sold, yeah, that yeah, it's not official at this point. I know that much. I've heard nothing bad. Like, it's not going to be an inpatient facility. Not that I would even be against that, but it's not going to be that at all. From what I hear, it's going to be like a counseling center almost, and an area where they would be able to have recreational activity, those kinds of things, people recovering from addiction. And so overall, to me, it sounds like just kind of a duplication of a couple of things in town, and maybe it would kind of replace those things. So things like the Empowerment Center downtown does that already, the Unity building, and then the Arc Manor. And from what I was told, the Arc Manor would actually potentially be moving all of their services into the Church of God at that point. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. I would just still continue to reserve your judgment on that. Don't go too crazy over it until we actually have all the facts on it. But there will be public meetings. There will be a lot more information going public, and there will be opportunity for people to ask questions and voice their opinion on it. However, I'm not sure that there could be anything that you could really do to stop it other than to convince the state not to buy it. But that's just where that's at. True Story says, no, Jezebel, agree with you. Wouldn't do that. 3D Maker says, "Do it with your kids, dude." Yeah, I will hike with my kids for sure, and we've started. We're just they're not all old enough yet to make it happen, but Abby and Joey are getting there, and Lily won't be far behind. AJ's in the house. Good to see you, AJ. Do a 15 miler. I would totally do a 15 miler, just not right now. Louis says, "How was potluck?" Kevin was super tired. He had to take a long nap. Yeah, he's still napping, from my understanding. So pray for Kevin. Really want to make sure that he's okay. One of my favorite people in the world. John says, "Hope you get a very good night's sleep, Andrew. You look like you need it." Thank you for that. And yes, I will. I will get good night's sleep tonight. True Story says, "Do you like old sermons like 'Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God'? Can repentance ever be preached too much?" Thoughts? I think repentance, no, I mean, it can't be preached too much. If you're preaching it in the same way all the time, then it can get repetitive and it can become religious. And so at that point, I do think that it becomes repetitive. And it becomes less effective because people will then begin to kind of shut off their ears. But that can be more of a spiritual symptom from the listener just as much as it is from the speaker. But I do think that there is an element of being able to know who you're speaking to, like Paul did. You know, he had a different audience every time. He always had the same message, but he was always delivering it in a little bit different way. And I think Paul was kind of a master at that. And so, that being said, I do like the old sermons, "Sinners in the Hands." You know, Jonathan Edwards. That sermon, "Sinners in the Hands of the Angry God," is wonderful. Would definitely suggest it to anybody. And any of the old stuff from all the circuit rider preachers. You know, I love all that stuff. I love reading old sermons from the Prince of Preachers. What's his name? In England. But anyways, I have a big book of his, and every now and again I'll pull out one and read a sermon out of there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Gosh, why am I drawing a blank right now? I am too tired, you guys. Swan says, "Do you follow back on Twitter?" Just wondering. I will definitely follow you back on Twitter. Go on there, follow me right now, and I will follow you back. That's my commitment, at least to you right now. Kevin's fine. Talk to him. He's just tired. I kept him up too late gaming last night. Oh, so now the truth comes out. True story. You should get an interviewing job, 3D Maker says. I love it. I love the good questions. Keep them coming. Let's see. Hiking, be a high pointer. Hike the highest point in every country or state. It's a real thing. I would love to do that. I was actually just talking with Luke last week. I said he and I should go do Mount Kilimanjaro someday. I'd love to climb, do a really high climb just once in my life. Maybe that's kind of a bucket list item for me. 3D Maker says, "I'm going to try to hike 50 miles in a day." Yeah, that's a ultra marathon, I believe. So yeah, go for it, man. That's gonna take some. That's gonna take some training for sure. Do you like C.S. Lewis? True Story says, "I love C.S. Lewis. I love to read his apologetic stuff, but I also love Chronicles of Narnia. There's just something about reading the Chronicles of Narnia, just like through the eyes as an adult, and just to look at how he was so brilliant in being able to bring the gospel through a children's story and stay just so faithful to the gospel is just amazing." Doc says, "Not sure if my previous message didn't show up in chat, but yes, that was me who made up the Leslie Knope comment. I'm glad you recognized the context and humor of it." Yeah, that was just the best. It was just absolutely the best. Best comment I ever received. True Story says, "I would love to be a journalist. I think you'd be good at it. You should go for it." True Story, where are you from actually? Like if you'd be interested in writing some content, I'm interested in making a website about Kittanning, and obviously I'm okay with a video and I'm okay with the podcast, but I'd love to be able to layer in written articles as well. And so if you're ever interested in doing that as like a side job or anything like that, or just interviewing people and writing articles about the interview, I think that would be it would be really interesting, and maybe you could turn it into a job at some point, or get yourself a little bit of experience. If you ever want to do something like that, let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it. But obviously, you can ask good questions, so I think it's great. Lou says, do you know any good winery near Kittanning? Amber, my girlfriend, loves visiting new ones. We were hoping to visit one while there. There are many good wineries within an hour's drive of here. As far as Kittanning itself, someone would have to correct me, but I think if you went up to Foxburg, that's a fun day trip for sure. You can get good food there, all that kind of stuff. They just missed another field goal. Oh my gosh, that's 2 missed field goals now. Anyways, there's a good one there, and then there's a good one in Amish country as well, which is another nice day trip. And so if you guys want to visit a couple different places, that's the 2 places I would suggest close to Kittanning would be Foxburg, and then Amish country, which would be like the Dayton, Smicksburg area. Smicksburg Winery is the one that I'm thinking of, and Foxburg Winery. So check those 2 out online, see what you think. I don't know. I don't drink anymore, so you're on your own on that one, but that's the 2 I would suggest. Have a good everyone and a good week, says 3D Maker Kid. Live your life to the fullest and nothing is impossible. Thank you for that. Good stuff. I'm going to jump off here. I'm just going to answer these last 2 questions, and then I will jump off. Swan says, Andrew, can you give us a favorite story about Kittanning or why you fell in love with the greatest city in the world, and where is Elizabeth tonight? So Elizabeth is preparing homeschool lessons tonight, so I don't think she's going to be joining me. She didn't get to do it during the day like she normally likes to do. She had other stuff going on, and I was being a little bit lazy after church, so I wasn't much help to her. But anyway, that's what she's doing. I'll tell you why I fell in love with Kittanning. And so when I first moved to Kittanning, I've always kind of lived my life, I guess, with a chip on my shoulder. And so when I heard people talking so negatively about Kittanning after we moved here, like everyone was negative on it, no one could understand why we moved here. And so it was really frustrating to me because I thought it was beautiful. I just thought, what opportunity here? That real estate was so cheap. It was so beautiful everywhere that we visited. And then people just wouldn't take care of things or didn't appreciate it at all. And so it kind of created this burden in my heart that I just wanted people to see Kittanning through the way that I saw it. And I think through people's negativity, it created this fire in me that I just fell more and more in love with the city the more that I lived here. I actually wrote an article for the newspaper, an opinion piece 4 years in, 4 years after I moved here, to tell people how much I appreciated the opportunity to have a business in the city and how blessed we were to have it, and how every single area of my life, every single organization I was involved in was on this upward climb. And so after I wrote that article, I got some good feedback from people that were just like, thank you for writing that, because no one ever really hears positive news around here. And so that's kind of how I got started. And I think just that all the negativity just fueled my love even more. And so that's where it came from. Jonathan says, check out Deer Creek Winery in Shippenville, not too far from Kittanning. There you got another option. True Story says, not from Kittanning yet. That's right. Feel free to move up here anytime. Well, True Story, if you're ever interested, just let me know. Be happy to get you involved. Void says, I don't drink either. She likes sometimes. I hope you have a great night. Great to hear from you. Can't wait to meet you next week. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Flip Flop Full Show says, what's good, Andrew? What is good is that we are all done. And so I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here, you guys. It's a wonderful, wonderful time to be with you. Go Vikings. Hopefully they can pick it up. I don't know. I just appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Hope you have a blessed week. Be looking out for some of the new videos coming at you. It's going to be a good week, and I'm going to get back in my groove real soon. All right. No, Flip, I gotta go. I really gotta go. All right. Bless you guys. Have a good one. See you in the next one. Flip Flop, if you've got something else to talk to me about, hit me up on Twitter, direct message, Instagram, direct message, or Facebook Messenger. I'll be happy to continue the conversation with you one-on-one. Let's do this thing. See you later.